Welcome to our US Briefing Show, everyone. Today, we've got some fascinating stories to share. First up, we remember the legendary Georg Stefan Troller, who passed away at the ripe age of 103. This Austrian-born journalist's life was nothing short of extraordinary, escaping the Nazis, serving in World War II, and then dazzling the world with his interviews of Hollywood icons like Marlon Brando and Woody Allen. His storytelling not only captured history but also helped heal wounds from his traumatic past. Truly an inspiring journey through nearly a century. Next, tensions are heating up in the Middle East as Iran faces snapback sanctions from the UN, reimposing restrictions lifted under the nuclear deal. This move comes amid recent strikes on Iran's nuclear sites, raising questions about the country's nuclear ambitions. Europe and the US are urging Iran to stick with inspections and diplomacy, but Iran is warning that these sanctions could push it to exit the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. It's a complex, high-stakes game of diplomacy and defense, folks. Finally, China has unveiled its latest strategic weapon, the DF-5C ICBM, during a military parade. This missile can reach the entire US mainland and carry multiple warheads, making it a formidable counterforce weapon. With around 400 of these missiles and ongoing silo construction, China is boosting its nuclear deterrence and strategic stability. It's a fascinating glimpse into how global power dynamics are evolving with these heavy-duty, long-range weapons. Please continue to stay tuned for more detailed insights on these stories. WWII vividly recounts the extraordinary life of Georg Stefan Troller, a man whose journey from escaping Nazi persecution in Vienna to becoming a celebrated journalist and filmmaker is nothing short of remarkable. Born into a Jewish family, he endured taunts and threats under Nazi rule, fleeing at 16 through Czechoslovakia to France, and later joining the US military, where he served as an interpreter during the liberation of Dachau. His early experiences with the horrors of the Holocaust deeply influenced his later work, which was characterized by a sensitive, unconventional approach to interviewing luminaries like Marlon Brando and Bardot. Troller found solace and healing through journalism, viewing his craft as a way to mend his wounded soul, shaped by the loss of 19 relatives and his own escape from death. His memoir, Love, Desire and Adventure, published in 2019, reflects on his life's encounters, blending humor and introspection, and even in his late 90s, he continued to inspire audiences with his storytelling. CNN provides a detailed overview of the current tense geopolitical landscape surrounding Iran's nuclear ambitions, highlighting the implications of the impending snapback sanctions. These sanctions, reimposed after a decade of suspension under the JCPOA agreement, threaten to escalate tensions as European nations accuse Iran of violating its nuclear commitments, particularly concerning its stockpile of highly enriched uranium and limited access for inspections by the IAEA. Despite Iran's vehement denials and warnings that it might cease cooperation with international inspectors or even withdraw from the NPT, the sanctions are poised to restore restrictions on Iran's arms and missile technology, oil exports, and financial sectors. The complex web of international diplomacy, with the US, Europe, China, and Russia holding divergent views, underscores the fragile balance of efforts to curb Iran's nuclear capabilities while navigating broader regional and global security concerns. South China Morning Post vividly describes China's latest military parade, showcasing the DF-5C missile, an evolution of the country's first ICBM, symbolizing its growing strategic deterrence. The parade's formation of these formidable missiles, capable of striking the entire continental United States, underscores China's intent to establish a credible, global strike nuclear force. Developed from the original DF-5 series launched in the early 1980s, the DF-5C now boasts up to 12 MIRV warheads and an extended range, marking a significant technological leap. These missiles, stored in silos and capable of rapid deployment, represent China's strategic shift toward a heavy, high-yield nuclear deterrent designed to ensure survivability and counterforce capabilities. The comparison with the US Minuteman III highlights differing strategic philosophies, with China emphasizing large payloads and counterstrike resilience, reflecting its broader aim to establish a formidable nuclear triad capable of deterring any potential adversary and asserting its global military stature. The Nikkei Asia reports that South Korea is facing a significant obstacle in fulfilling President Donald Trump's demand for a $350 billion upfront investment in the United States as part of a tariff reduction agreement. Seoul's presidential advisor, Wai Sung-lak, clarified that the country cannot handle such a colossal cash outlay, emphasizing that the proposed investment would instead be structured as loans, guarantees, and equity, an approach that aligns better with South Korea's economic capacity. Despite Trump's assertions that South Korea would provide the funds immediately, Seoul remains cautious, citing the risk of financial instability and insisting on exploring alternative arrangements. The deadlock over control and the form of investment has stalled formal negotiations, with Seoul aiming to finalize a trade deal during the upcoming APEC summit, which Trump is expected to attend. The Yahoo US article highlights how the federal government's budget cuts threaten critical funding for Northwest Native nations, risking hundreds of millions of dollars vital for their health, infrastructure, and environmental resilience. Portland State University's report reveals that nearly $530 million of the $1.19 billion allocated to these tribes in 2024 could be cut due to recent legislative changes under President Trump's administration. These funds are essential for a broad spectrum of services, from clean water and housing to climate change mitigation efforts like wildfire management and air quality monitoring. Tribal leaders expressed deep concern that these reductions will undermine their ability to meet treaty obligations and protect their communities' health and cultural resources, especially amid escalating climate challenges. Both articles underscore the broader implications of political and economic decisions on vulnerable communities and international relations. South Korea's struggle to meet U.S. demands reflects the complexities of balancing economic stability with diplomatic commitments, while the potential funding cuts for Northwest tribes illuminate the ongoing challenges faced by indigenous nations in maintaining essential services amidst federal budget constraints. These stories reveal how high-stakes negotiations and policy shifts can have profound impacts on national economies and marginalized communities, emphasizing the importance of sustainable, equitable approaches to development and international cooperation. South China Morning Post reports that China's foremost anti-espionage agency has issued a stern warning about foreign attempts to circumvent Chinese export controls to acquire vital rare minerals, particularly antimony, crucial for military and technological advancements. These efforts include complex smuggling operations involving family-run networks and international traffickers, with suspects attempting to smuggle high-purity antimony ingots through third countries amidst rising global prices and tightening supply. China, as the world's leading producer of antimony, an essential component in high-performance weaponry, has responded by imposing export restrictions on critical minerals like rare earths and germanium, citing national security concerns. These measures are part of Beijing's strategic maneuvering in the ongoing US-China tech rivalry, with smuggling rings often colluding with overseas entities and deploying sophisticated tactics such as falsified labels and fake product descriptions. The Chinese authorities have ramped up crackdowns, with recent operations leading to multiple arrests, reflecting the high stakes involved in safeguarding these strategic resources amid geopolitical tensions. Meanwhile, the Associated Press highlights the growing trend of individuals taping their mouths shut during sleep in pursuit of better rest, a practice experts warn against due to its potential health risks. Social media buzz, especially on TikTok, promotes mouth taping as a sleep hack, but medical professionals like Dr. Kimberly Hutchison caution that the benefits are minimal and the dangers, including worsened sleep apnea or suffocation, are real. Experts emphasize that nasal breathing is naturally healthier because it filters dust and allergens and reduces issues like dry mouth and snoring. Instead of resorting to mouth taping, which lacks scientific backing, doctors recommend exploring safer solutions such as prescription mouthpieces, CPAP machines, or addressing underlying causes like sleep apnea, which often manifests as mouth breathing and snoring. The key takeaway is to identify the root cause of mouth breathing through proper sleep testing, as untreated sleep disorders can significantly impact overall health and quality of life. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Waking up to wonders, checking nature blunders. Got our rockets flying while the oceans are sighing. Lasers in the sky now, holograms we say.